topic is Jesus is the vine in my life. And let us go to the scripture in the book of John, chapter 15, verse 1. It says, I am the true vine, and my father is the husbandman. Verse 4, it says, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. No one can ye except ye abide in me. Verse 5, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. Verse 6, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them to the fire, and they are burnt. So Jesus is the vine. It's just like a tree. When a tree does not have a vine, that tree cannot produce fruit. So Jesus Christ is the vine, and we are what? The branches. Without the vine in your life cannot make a meaning. Your life cannot produce. Your life cannot what? Multiply, because you don't have what? The vine. And who is that vine? Jesus. Jesus is the vine in our life. So without him, your life cannot do anything. Your life cannot produce anything. Your life cannot what? Multiply anything, because you don't have Christ in your life. It's just like in a tree. When a tree does not have vine, that tree cannot produce any fruit because it does not have a vine. And that tree will fade, and people what? Wither it. So sometimes why people come and rule your life is because you don't have the vine in your life. That's why people can come in and destroy you and cut you off, because you don't have the vine in your life. When you have the vine in your life, nobody can come into your life to destroy it. So when you don't have Jesus, your life cannot produce anything. Your life cannot produce fruits. Your life cannot produce. It is only when you have Christ that things will work in your life, because Jesus is the vine. He's what? The vine. Like in a tree. When a tree does not have a vine, that tree cannot multiply, cannot produce any fruit, because it does not have a vine. Are you understanding what I'm saying? It does not what has a vine. So that is why that tree cannot produce anything, because there is no vine in it. So is it in your life. When you don't have a vine in your life cannot produce anything. Your life cannot bring forth anything, because you don't have the vine, which is who? Jesus Christ. So Jesus is the vine. He is the vine in your life. Are you hearing me? Jesus is the vine in your life. So without him, your life cannot produce anything. Your life cannot bring forth anything, because you don't have the vine, which is who? Jesus. A tree cannot produce fruit without a vine. We are the branches, and Jesus is the what? Vine. So a branch cannot produce fruit without the vine. So is it in the life of human beings. Without Christ, you cannot produce what? Fruits. So Jesus is the vine in my life. That's my topic. Jesus is the vine in my life. And I've used three to explain it to you. So that's how it is. If you don't have Jesus in your life, your life cannot bring forth anything. Your life cannot produce anything, because you don't have Christ. We are the branches, and the branch cannot produce without having the vine. Because when the fruit does not have a vine, it is what? It is when a branch does not have a vine, it is with that, because it does not have a vine. People wither it. That's why you see sometimes people can come and wither your life. Wither means destroy, rule your life, because you don't have the vine. When you have Christ, nobody can rule your life. Nobody can come and destroy you. Nobody can harm you. Nobody can wound you. Nobody can break you because you have what divine in you, which is what Jesus. But when you don't have Christ, people can come and manipulate your life because you don't have Christ, you don't have divine. So when you have divine in your life, nobody can manipulate your life. These are people are manipulating your life is because they have the chance to do it. You understand? Because you don't have divine, that's why they can come into your life and what, manipulate it. So when you have Christ in your life, nobody can what, manipulate your life, and your life will be what, fruitful, producing, bringing forth, because you have Jesus in your life. So Jesus is the vine in my life, and because Jesus is the vine in my life, no one can manipulate my life. My life is what, fruitful, is productive, is multiplying, because I have the vine, which is who, Jesus. So as the branches, a branch cannot produce without the vine. And when a branch or a tree does not have a vine, people wither it and will burn it. So when you don't have the vine in your life, people can what, manipulate your life. People can come into your life and manipulate it because you don't have the vine, which is with Jesus. So my topic is today is that Jesus is the vine in my life. That is my topic. Jesus is the vine in my life. So when your life does not have a vine, it can't what, bring forth. People what, manipulate your life. That's why you see some people, their life is being manipulated times and times and times and times because they don't have Jesus. When you have Jesus, no one can manipulate you, nobody can wound you. When I mean wound, I mean like hurt you. The people that their hearts, I mean wounded in the heart. That's what I mean. You understand? Nobody can harm you, nobody, because you have Jesus in your life. So let Jesus be the vine in your life. That's it. Let Jesus be the vine in your life. Build Jesus in your life. Build the vine in your life, which is Jesus. So without Jesus, you can do nothing. Have you seen? Because he is the vine. So without Christ, you cannot do anything. Because Jesus is the vine. So when you don't have the vine, you can't do anything. You can't, nothing, absolutely nothing. You can't multiply, you can't produce because you don't have the vine in your life. So my topic today is that Jesus is the vine in my life. I'm telling you that you should build the vine in your life. Let Jesus be builded in your life. That is what my sermon for today is. Jesus is the vine in my life.